Hello, Gene Schwimmer here. Welcome to today's vlog. Today I want to talk some more about the Horowitz report. I spoke about it yesterday when it had just come out. Well, as you know, I record these videos the day before you see them. So it's yesterday for me. I guess it's 2 days ago for you as you're watching this now. The big question, or one of the questions that people would be having, I would think, would be, how is this impeachment inquiry? Well, it's not an inquiry anymore. I don't know why I didn't mention this at the outset. As we also know by now, the House Judiciary Committee recommended 2 articles of impeachment. So that part is done. It's going to be voted on by the Judiciary Committee. That hasn't happened yet as I'm recording this. And then it's going to go to the full House to vote, and then we'll see what happens. But even at this early stage, you may be wondering what effect this has had on Trump's poll numbers, on his chances for re-election, because that's the whole point of this impeachment, as I call it, the impeachment circus. I can't believe that they think this is going to get through the Senate. The Democrats, well, Pelosi is trying to appease her left-wing base, and then you have Nadler, who is facing, or he was, and probably still now, facing a primary challenge in his own district. Gerald Nadler, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee. So I'm thinking this may be a time when actually Pelosi has no choice, that she has to go forward with the full House vote, regardless of whether she has the votes, because the House Judiciary Committee, assuming they vote out the articles of impeachment, if she does not hold a vote right away, and she's been talking about, well, everybody knows she wants to get this done by Christmas. So if she delays a vote after the Judiciary Committee votes out the articles of impeachment, people are going to wonder what's going on, and it'll be obvious what's going on, that she doesn't have the votes, and she's trying to convince House Democrats to vote for the impeachment, not based on what they have seen from the testimony, but just from party pressure, just from Pelosi twisting their arms. Everybody will know that it's just a party line vote. It's Democrats sticking together, having nothing to do with the substance of the impeachment circus. So I think there would be a vote one way or the other, but I am pretty sure that she has the votes. Just knowing the discipline of the House Democrats. I wish Republicans would have that same discipline once in a while. Wouldn't hurt. But getting back to the question of how is it affecting Trump's poll numbers, it's having the reverse effect, apparently, at least so far, from what the Democrats were hoping for, because it looks like Trump's poll numbers are going up. Here's the Rasmussen poll, the one taken today, December 10th, as I'm recording this morning. It shows 2 interesting things. Number one, Trump's approval is at 50%. But also, as you can see here, I'll make a close-up of the end of the chart so you can see it even better. That is 6 points ahead of where Obama was at this point in his presidency. 50% for Trump and 44% approval for Obama. So far it's having a positive effect just based on this poll. But here's another poll, or actually it's 3 polls of 3 states from a polling group called Firehouse Strategies. I just want to put up these 3 tables that show Trump leading all of the major Democratic candidates in battleground states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. And note especially Pennsylvania, because that is supposed to be the one. And in fact, I saw a pundit only this morning on television saying that Trump was trailing Biden in Pennsylvania. But as you can see from the chart I just put up, that chart of likely voters shows Trump leading Biden. Why that matters is because, number one, it's traditionally hard state for Republicans to win. Though Trump did win it in 2016, he's hoping to duplicate his success now in 2020. But also, number two, Pennsylvania is Joe Biden's home state. He was supposed to have, well, I won't say insurmountable, but everybody has been talking about how if Biden is the nominee, Trump is in real trouble because then he can't win Pennsylvania. But you just saw a chart that he is actually leading Biden in Pennsylvania according to this chart. Now, I want to get to the Horowitz report. Well, no, I want to get to one other little small item first, which is just to, I guess for me, to spike the ball, do a little victory dance. I'm not going to physically dance, don't worry. You don't want to see me dance. But I had said in an earlier vlog where I did a really detailed analysis of the Zelensky-Trump phone call memo that I showed that when Trump used the word us, I want you to do us a favor, that he did not mean Trump personally, he meant the United States. Well, just this morning, a tweet from Donald Trump, I'm going to put it up, from Donald Trump himself. Read the transcript. Quote, us, unquote, is a reference to USA, not me, exclamation point. So there you go. He's saying exactly what I said, except that I said it first a long time ago. I had said that I had wished that Trump would have made this point. He finally did. And I just wanted to show, well, that I'm ahead of the game. So that's why you should be watching these vlogs, to get insights before even the president has them. But also, maybe he got that from me. It's possible, right? Maybe he was watching my vlog and he saw it. So if that's the case, then you want to be with Trump. You want to watch my vlog and you want to get other people to watch it too. That's my little victory dance. Thanks for bearing with me. Now, I want to get to the Horowitz report. I want to get to the import of the report and the reaction of, well, Donald Trump's reaction to the report. He tweeted when the report shortly came out, he said, well, this is the problem, that Christopher Wray, the head of the FBI, got the report, and then he said that he accepted the conclusion of the report. And then Trump tweeted, I put the tweet up here, I don't know what report current director of the FBI, Christopher Wray, was reading, but it sure wasn't the one given to me. With that kind of attitude, he will never be able to fix the FBI, which is badly broken, despite having some of the greatest men and women working there. Well, I think he realized his error a little bit later.
Well, they fabricated evidence and they lied to the courts and they did all sorts of things to have it go their way. And this was something that we can never allow to happen again. The report actually, and especially when you look into it, and the details of the report are far worse than anything I would have even imagined. What they were doing and what they would have done if I didn't make a certain move that was a very important move, because it would have been even worse if that's possible. And they might have been able to succeed. This was an overthrow of government. This was an attempted overthrow, and a lot of people were in on it, and they got caught. They got caught red-handed. And I look forward to the Durham report, which is coming out in the not-too-distant future. It's got his own information, which is this information plus. And it's an incredible thing that happened, and we're lucky we caught him. I think I'm going to put this down as one of our great achievements, because what we found and what we saw, never, ever should this happen again in our country.
What everybody is missing, it's a spin that the Democrats have been putting on the Horowitz report. It is really very damaging to the FBI and supportive of Trump. One of the conclusions of the report, one of the first conclusions, was that there was, well, this is how the Democrats are spinning it. They're saying that the report says that there was no political motivation behind the decision by the FBI to investigate possible collusion between the Russians and the Trump campaign. But that's not what it said. William Barr was on television earlier. He was being interviewed, and he was very careful to point out that the report said that Horowitz found no evidence of a political motivation. That's not the same thing as saying that there was no political motivation when you keep in mind how limited Horowitz's report was, that he could not go beyond the Justice Department, he could not subpoena anybody. That's a big difference that's important to note. But the rest of the report shows definitively, and this is what I'm going to illustrate in a few minutes, that though it was okay to initiate the investigation once initiated should have been ended very quickly after it began. Or as Jonathan Turley said, that saying it was reasonable for the FBI to start the investigation is like doing a report on the Titanic sinking and saying that it was reasonable for the captain to start the voyage. In other words, it was okay to start the voyage, but obviously mistakes were made during the voyage of the Titanic that resulted in it hitting an iceberg and sinking, which is a pretty good metaphor for what the Democrats are heading into. That's what I think. Which now brings us to the main topic that I want to discuss, which is the rest of the report. If you want to know why our Democratic friends are focusing so intensely on that initial conclusion in the first few pages of the report and trying to spin that conclusion that it was okay to start the investigation as if that legitimized the entire investigation, you're now going to find out why. Because I had said earlier that the Horowitz report found several mistakes in what the FBI did, but it actually goes beyond that, as Lindsey Graham pointed out in an interview that he gave yesterday, or 2 days ago for you people who are watching this now. It's more than mistakes. Somebody lied. At least one person, maybe more than one person, lied to the FISA court. Now the problem is that the report does not use actual names, so we don't know who it is. And that was Lindsey Graham's problem too. He said, we have to find out who these people are and we have to hold them accountable, because the report, unfortunately, does not provide any names. It uses pseudonyms in place of the characters' actual names. So we don't know who these people are right now, but I can tell you what they did. It's in the report, so I'm going to read you some quotes from the report. There are 4 of them. It has to do with the Steele dossier. The Steele dossier that was used to get the FISA warrant. So bear with me as I read them. I might throw in a few comments, but I'll definitely have a comment at the end. So here we go. An important aspect of the FBI's assessment of Steele's election reporting, this would be the Steele dossier, involved evaluating Steele's source network, especially whether the subsources had access to reliable information. As noted in the first FISA application, Steele relied on a primary subsource, which Horowitz calls primary subsource. So this is what I'm talking about. There's no actual name given, just the term primary subsource. for information. And this primary subsource used a network of subsources, so that's subsources on subsources, by the way. But anyways, and this primary subsource used a network of subsources to gather the information that was relayed to Steele. Steele himself was not the originating source of any of the factual information in his reporting. He did no original work, he just regurgitated what these subsources told to him. Okay, next quote. The FBI conducted interviews of the primary subsource in January, March, and May 2017 that raised significant questions about the reliability of the Steele election reporting. In particular, the FBI's interview with Steele's primary subsource in January 2017, shortly after the FBI filed the Carter Page FISA renewal application number 1 and months prior to renewal application number 2, raised doubts about the reliability of Steele's descriptions of information in his election report. The primary source was questioned again by the FBI beginning in March 2017 about the election reporting and his/her communications with Steele. The Washington Field Office agent, WFO Agent 1, again, the name isn't given, just the term WFO Agent 1, who conducted that interview and others after it, told the OIG, that would be Office of the Inspector General, that the primary subsource felt that the tenor of Steele's report was far more, quote, conclusive, unquote, than was justified. The primary subsource also stated that he/she never expected Steele to put the primary subsource's statements in reports or present them as facts. In other words, this primary subsource, whoever he or she is, thought that Steele's information was so unreliable that she never expected that these rumors and hearsay would be presented as facts. Now here in this next quote, we get to the crux of the matter, why somebody could be in a whole heap of trouble. As discussed in Chapter 8, Carter Page FISA renewal application numbers 2 and 3 advised the court that following the January interview with the primary subsource, quote, the FBI found the Russian-based subsource to be truthful and cooperative, unquote. Renewal application numbers 2 and 3 continued to rely on the Steele information without any revisions or notice to the court that the primary subsource contradicted the Steele election reporting on key issues described in the renewal applications. In other words, after being informed by this primary subsource that the Steele dossier was bogus, that the info was bogus, that it should not be used, or at least that the primary subsource was surprised that it was used, this person, whoever it is, we don't know who it is, not only used that information, but told the FISA court that the information was accurate, that the information was legitimate, that the information was solid, that it justified the warrant, even though that agent had been told that it wasn't. Somebody lied to the FISA court. That person needs to be held accountable. That's what Lindsey Graham is saying. This person needs to be exposed and held accountable. And I would say a lot of other people need to be held accountable too. I am sure that is what John Durham and William Barr are working on. I am sure that there is one or more indictments coming down the pike eventually. So as I said at the end of yesterday's vlog, stay tuned. And as I also said at the end of yesterday's vlog, And all the vlogs before yesterday's vlog, thumbs up if you like this video. Share it with anybody you think would like the video too. Got any comments? Put them in the comments section below the video. You can also put in that very same section suggestions for topics you would love me to cover, or even just like me to cover, or if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer the questions if I know the answers. Please subscribe. I love getting new subscribers. And most of all, come back and see me again. I look forward to seeing all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.